All right, welcome back to Modern Mondays at Guardian Games. We're covering some round 3 modern action. I am here. My name is Ian Lunger, and I'm joined by.
Travis Cooper, and we're watching. It seems like this, lightning skelemental has just blown up in the past couple weeks in terms of popularity, especially around Portland. I've been playing against it in town a fair amount. We've seen it a lot on coverage here. Pretty cool.
Yeah, people like Ball Lightning, and Lightning Skelemental is Ball Lightning with upside.
It's
So,
ball lightning with lightning.
yeah,
Yeah, that's just sweet.
yeah. It makes me wish that we could retroactively make Ball Lightning better, because I just want to play. I want to play the 12 Lightning decks with the Groundbreakers and
12
Ball
ball,
Lightnings.
I think is what it's called.
12 what?
12 ball.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm. Sounds like a version of pool you might play at a bar.
uh, Yeah, I think the mana base on that one was just real tricky.
I think both Travis and I are pretty certain. Chad asks what we think will be banned next Monday. I think both of us think that Once Upon a Time is going to get banned.
Yeah, it seems like it is geared towards modern because they made the announcement, the Modern Pro Tour is coming up, so.
I think Pioneer is going to get a ban too, personally.
Oh yeah, 100%. I
Yeah.
think we're gonna get either Inverter or Lotus Field or Ascension.
I actually don't think that we're going to see a card from the field deck banned. Because I think that deck's easily, like, countered easily enough by a number of different strategies that I think it's okay. I definitely think we are going to see something banned from Inverter. And I think I agree with Chad. I actually think Dig is.
Oh, I kind of like that you can play the Delve spells, and I think if you ban Dig, you have to also ban Treasure Cruise. Um,
I think Dig is better in the combo decks, and
it is, but they'll play a worse version of a thing that's really powerful. So
yeah, I agree with that. But I think True Cruise will have its time where it gets banned, but I don't think it's needed quite yet, personally.
yeah, I kind of hope they don't ban Dig and just ban things from the decks that are problematic, because I think it's cool that there's a format that you can play Dig in, and it felt like before the Inverter deck, there's a bunch of different decks that play Dig, and it was fine.
We are going to have to ultimately at some point decide what the pillars of Pioneer are. Something that's not talked about a lot is yeah, like format identity, and yeah, we're going to have to decide at some point what we want that to be for Pioneer, and once we do, there will be some cards that define that will just have to stay. But anyway, back to Modern.
Yeah, we're doing some damage to ourselves here. Jeremy down to 15 off his Cycle Street Wraith. Fetch Shock.
So Jeremy is playing what we have called 4-color Lazav Titan. It's kind of a mix of, there's some Death Shadow elements to this deck. I think there's both Kroxa and maybe also Uro, but I'm not really sure, and Lazav the Multifarious.
There's some stuff. Some very non-meta things going on. Kroxa also, along with the little Lightning Skelemental, has been pretty huge.
This art, I know it's like supposed to be epic, but he looks so goofy.
It looks like a high school production of a play or
Yes,
something.
yes, that's it. That's totally it. With like the people behind, and yeah, it definitely looks like some cheesy rendition of
Like community
like
theater.
Batman or something. Yes. Lazav Lazav is a fun card. Basically lets you turn Lazav into Titans for a relatively low mana cost because Kroxa only costs 2 to cast technically, so Lazav can become a big Kroxa for a relatively small amount of mana.
Oh, Andrew's stuck on lands. That's unfortunate. Although, these days the new mulligan rule, I feel like if you keep a one-lander, I can't feel that sorry for you.
It does look like a solid hand besides. Although I kind of agree with you, even if you hit a second land here, it still really needs 3 to get actually turned on.
And Dreadhorde Arcanist isn't doing anything until you get spells in the yard. There's no real spells in the hand except for Unearth, and yeah, that's a catch-22 right there.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah, it is awkward that the creatures are kind of more expensive. Although once you get Regisar out, it's probably not too difficult to get something in the yard here. You can unearth a Kroxa in a pinch, right? And I guess you're just getting the discard element out of the Kroxa, but
yeah,
I think it may just end up being a turn too late that Andrew is hitting lands here. Looks like Jeremy, this Death Shadow may well bring it home.
And can you imagine what this Rakdos deck would be like if Faithful Suiting was in the format?
Be fun.
Ooh, glad it's not. Bobbling ourselves.
Jeremy's graveyard, just already so many cards, but really only two actual spells.
Ooh, ouch.
Jeremy's just gonna drop to 5 here. He knows
could just die to a Skelemental if we
Oh.
top deck a land.
Yes, I did not even think about that. I was thinking like, oh, Jeremy's in the clear here, but yeah, Lightning Skelemental is just lethal. Holy cow.
Was not punished.
Yeah.
Oh, was punished. No,
Wait.
it was not punished.
Why?
Did we not have a Skelemental in hand? I thought we did, but maybe I was wrong about what was in Andrew's hand.
I thought we did too.
What do you got over there, Andrew? Show us your hand. Well, you can't not.
Alright, and this probably ices the game, even if there is a... I'm so confused. I really thought that we had a Skelemental in hand. Well, I imagine, yeah, we're going to see Andrew go to game 2 here. So Jeremy will take game 1.
All right, I got the sideboards here. Let's see what we got. All right, it looks like for Andrew, we have a couple Ashioks, some Blood Moons, Collective Brutalities, Plague Engineer, Liliana the Last Hope, Fulminator Mages, Engineered Explosives, and Kalitas.
Man, well, given what I saw of Jeremy's deck that game, I wouldn't really put in the Ashioks, but what I know about Jeremy's deck, I would maybe want Ashioks in.
Yeah, I mean, Blood Moon is pretty good if you're on the play and can land it. Also,
Yes.
don't hate Engineered Explosives. If you've seen Death Shadows, that's a good way to 2-for-1 a couple shadows. If I'm Andrew thinking about what I saw in that game, I'm assuming Jeremy's just playing a shadow deck, basically.
Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, 4-color shadow.
Fulminator Mages. Not really into it.
Nah, me either.
Kalitas isn't... Just that's decent value. Maybe you expect an Unearth or something from Jeremy as well.
Right. And if you do see the Titans, Kalitas makes a lot of sense, right? Like, if somebody's casting the Titan from their hand, having it get exiled
Yeah.
when it's a graveyard is quite strong.
And then you get a zombie. That's
Yeah.
sweet. But just the incidental life gain can matter in this matchup as well. Plus, creating chump blockers.
Right, for the actual Death Shadows.
And looks like Jeremy has Basic Swamp, a couple Magus of the Moons, Dark Blast, some Plague Engineers, another Fatal Push, Lightning Bolts, Veil of Summer, Nihil Spellbomb, and a Mystical Dispute.
So I kind of
That's a
like
pile.
I kind of like playing engineers coming down naming elemental in this matchup, but I think that it's possible in the draw that's just a step too slow.
Yeah.
Because if you're on Andrew's side, you're probably running out the Skelementals like ASAP. So so I guess maybe I wouldn't necessarily bring them in here, but if we go to a game 3, I could see bringing in some Plague Engineers on Jeremy's side.
Yeah, dude, that does feel like a play draw dependent card where once you get domed by a Skelemental attack and trigger, Plague Engineer is probably going to be one of the cards you're discarding.
Right.
So Jeremy's deck name, Lazav Titan, should be like Shadow Lazavs? Or
We're gonna decide after this game. We'll decide if it's not apt enough. I guess the deck is probably based more around the Shadow engine than the Lazav engine.
well, let's not quite change it yet. Let's give it some thought. Think about it. Does chat have a good? What would chat name Jeremy's deck?
Yeah, we're open to suggestions. Something we're not at the most nice sounding name currently, so
And it's confusing because Primeval Titan is probably the most ubiquitous Titan that's out there. So folks might be like, "Oh, Primeval Titan and Lazav." So.
but then they wouldn't really be thinking about the synergies of Lazav.
I mean, Lazav copying Primeval Titan is pretty decent too.
Yeah, but you have to pay the mana cost to do the copy, and that's why
you got a lot of mana. If you're playing Amulet,
All right.
I mean, it's a thing that someone could do.
All right. some Sultai Lazav Amulet Titan. I could see somebody doing that.
I think the most recent modern tournament had it was either Black Golgari or Sultai Titan won it.
Yeah, I think it was like I mean, I think it's Sultai, but I think it was base Golgari list or something like that. It was definitely not Amulet though. It was just like Field Titan.
Oh, what do we take with this Inquisition here? Kind of taking the Goyf.
Yes.
I
I
think
mean, depending on
Goyf
what
or
your
Thoughtseize,
removal
yeah.
suite looks like. Looks like there's an engineered explosives in hand.
All right, take the Thoughtseize.
Man, you know you're playing something spicy when you're rocking some Mana Confluence in Modern.
Yeah, Pioneer staple in a format without fetch lands, but
Okay, we got a suggestion in. We got Lazav Shadow Titan. We'll keep it on the back burner here for a minute. Okay, so Jeremy's just gonna run out the spell bomb here. Not sure what Jeremy's picked up off the bobble trigger in the draw step.
no, just Black Cleave Cliffs, pass the turn. Probably, I would guess, have a push for this Tarmogoyf, one would hope.
Ooh, it looks like there's a Engineered Explosives, a Fulminator Mage, and a Bolt at the very least. In
I love bringing in the mages, especially when you're on the play. Oh, if Jeremy doesn't hit this land drop, that could be rough.
Yeah, if Andrew's, we might have some very harsh non-games if Jeremy hasn't hit a land drop this turn, which we're not seeing anything.
Oh, yeah, there
Okay,
we go.
all
Okay,
right.
we're shocking it in.
So that makes me think that maybe Jeremy's other card is also a land, right? Because we did some thinking about that. I guess it might have been whether to shock or not.
So, are you just running this mage out and blowing up the mana confluence?
I mean, yeah.
Or
Oh,
that.
Yeah,
That'll do.
that'll work. Well, you definitely cash in a Nile Spellbomb here if you're Jeremy before this resolves.
Yeah, we got some Skelementals going on.
Yeah. So Jeremy did cash in the spell bomb. I imagine that Jeremy will not be able to cast the vast majority of the deck at this point, and probably Andrew playing out a Simian Spirit Guide would be enough to get this game over with.
Or we could play a Skelemental.
We could, but you know, oddly enough, I actually think it might be worse than a Simian Spirit Guide here because I really just think all you need is just something to close out this game.
Recursive damage.
Yep.
Yeah, very rarely do we get to see Blood Moon just shutting down most of a deck. A lot of times decks will have like one basic to work with or something. But
Right. And you know, post board, you'll oftentimes see people putting in some effort to play around it, but Jeremy has not had a fetch land so far, so
Fulminator Mage could destroy a non-basic mountain if it so chose to.
yeah, I think I like it used in the attack mode.
You like having a win condition?
Yeah, I'm on board with just the 2/2, the 3-mana 2/2 for this game. I don't think that Jeremy will be able to do anything for the rest of this game.
Well, Jeremy could have sideboarded in that basic swamp that was in the...
That's true. Yeah, the one basic swamp in the sideboard makes me really think that Jeremy actually has 0 basics.
Yeah. Or maybe one. Sometimes if you're playing against like a Path or Blood Moon deck, you'll want 2 basics. So
It just seems like if there was one, that it would be the swamp, and then the one in the sideboard would be something else.
like a forest.
Yeah. So that's why I'm feeling like there's just no basics.
Oh, cool. I love the old art on Earth.
Jeremy's gonna go to discard. Ooh, for a minute there I was like, ooh, Kroxa in the yard, but no, that requires 2 black to bring it back.
That's
so.
not happening.
Yeah. Maybe Jeremy's playing, maybe we've got Manamorphose.
I was getting ready to do the like one of Manamorphose thing.
Yeah. Jeremy does have some spicy stuff in this thing, so I could definitely see the one of Manamorphose.
I think that was a thing that 4 and 5 color Shadow used to play back in the day because you had delve spells. It was just a way to cast your cards and cycle.
Right. I mean, it's such a cool piece of Blood Moon tech. So it's also possible that Jeremy just actually has no outs, but because there's not really a lot of time threat, we're just kind of like playing this out just to make Andrew think that like we've got outs here.
You get to see a little bit more of Andrew's deck too. Like, is Andrew going to play out some more sideboard cards they'll get to know how to board against?
Right. The only thing is Jeremy can't keep he's not going to keep everything secret from his deck either because he's having to discard things at the end of turn as well. This Fulminator Mage is going to go all the way, Travis.
Yeah, I think Jeremy's just digging for information here.
Yeah. Picking up some knowledge out the door.
I guess Andrew has no real incentive to ever play anything else.
No, we are up to 8 lands on Andrew's side. It's quite a haul. Went from getting mana screwed game 1 to the old 8 lands, 1 threat situation for game 2. So, yeah.
Well, if you're gonna flood out, it's good to flood out under a Blood Moon.
Yep. Yep, it's good to play the Haymaker that just puts your opponent in the ground.
Well, what do you think we're changing board-wise? I could sort of see, so Andrew has like high impact 3 drops like Blood Moon, Fulminator Mage. I could see trimming some number of those. I kind of like trimming the Fulminator Mages,
Yep.
but keep the Blood Moons in.
Yep.
For Jeremy, maybe you're like, oop, I'm gonna put
I'm putting that swamp
in.
there, yeah. I've been waiting my whole life to put that swamp in. That's why it's in the board.
I do. So there's a lot of times when I think about having a land in my sideboard where if I'm playing a more aggressive deck and I'm siding into more of a mid-range control game where you want like the extra land. I've thought like in Legacy about having a mystical dispute in the board where it's like pretty bad in the wasteland game sometimes, but when your opponent's not playing that, it can be really good against the blue mid-range matchups. But
Mystic Sanctuary.
yeah, Mystic Sanctuary. But whenever I'm at that point, I'm like, I should maybe play an extra land in the main deck. I should maybe even play 61 cards before just the slots in sideboard are so valuable for like high impact spells that I don't think they're best used to slightly increase your chance of hitting lands.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
a certain land.
I always just end up putting, whenever that's a situation, I just put the extra land in the main deck and just play with an extra land in the main deck just because there are enough hands that I feel like are keepable if you just have that one more land enough that it like offsets the idea of trying to play down a land and play something out of the board. But utility lands I also think are a little bit different too. I can certainly see, for Amulet Titan, I've never shied away from having like Cavern of Souls or whatever extra Field of the Dead's in the board, these kind of lands that operate as spells.
Oh, Bajuka Bog, 100%. Yeah, I think those are fine lands to put in the graveyard.
In the board.
In the board. That exile graveyards. They're fine lands to put in the graveyard if you play a Fulminator Mage.
Yeah, for real. Travis and I both had a long working weekend, so we got the Mondays.
I was interviewing people for jobs today, and I was interviewing people for jobs to work at game shops that had more college degrees than I have. That made me feel a little bit weird.
Yeah, well, people do all sorts of things with all sorts of amounts of education, so. I like to use my education to play Magic well, occasionally.
Wait, when was the last time you played Magic well?
I said occasionally.
Okay. Ooh.
Actually, I have to rely on decks that are good in the metagame. That's my preferred modus, is find a deck that's really good against the field at any given time and then hope that it carries me.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting matchup, especially with Jeremy wanting to do a lot of damage to get these Death Shadows out, but then Andrew having like such heavy hitters with the 6 damage one-shot Skelementals. All right, we did it.
We're adding Shadow to the... We do Shadow Titan. I kind of like it. I like it thematically for Death Shadow, and also Kroxas kind of like a Shadow Titan. If you squint.
Could it be Shapeshifter Shadow Titan? Because then you'd have an alliteration.
That definitely has better alliteration, but I don't think it's nearly as descriptive. Because I don't think Lazav is the first thing you think of when you think of shapeshifters.
Okay, what do you think of? 1, 2, 3.
The white changeling outcast. That's a shapeshifter.
Okay.
I guess that is the first one I thought. I actually thought of mirror image. Mirror. We're off the rails, but we're gonna chase this.
We're catching it. Well, we're not fetching for the basic swamp.
There it is.
Mirror entity. Chat's got it.
This thing's the best way to take advantage of a bunch of mana when you're playing stupid dorks that don't do anything else. This was like a card that was played in Legacy Elves decks when they could just make a bunch of mana but didn't really have anything else.
It reminds me of like an X-Files episode.
The art is sweet.
Yeah.
It's definitely like creepy, sweet art.
Well, Goyf can get pretty big. We got a 3/4 right now.
Oh, chat thought of Morphling. Now I'm jealous. Morphling is what I wish I had thought about first. Okay. Andrew will see your 2-mana play.
And play a 1/3.
Yeah.
Sweet.
A 1/3 with sweet text. Dreadhorde Darkness is actually another reason for Jeremy to have Plague Engineer here, as it's pretty much useless if you put Plague Engineer on zombie.
It's a zombie?
It is. It's a zombie wizard,
Whoa.
I believe. Chat'll chime in here if I'm wrong shortly. But I think
I didn't think it was a zombie.
I think it is. Because it's part of the Dreadhorde.
Oh, okay. Wow, it is. I'm wrong. It just seems red zombies.
Right? What a confluence of creature types.
I feel like that's a card that I played Dreadhorde Arcanist and I own 4 of them. I don't think I've ever actually looked at the art.
It's not really that awesome.
No, I like how they've starting to go back to the actual like oil paintings and
Yes.
stuff and watercolors, and this is a whole like CG like art that.
Yeah, this one was
video
kind of a
gamey.
holdover.
Coming in hot with a Tarmogoyf. That's funny. Kroxa discarded to Kroxa trigger.
Jeremy has the basic swamp. Jeremy's like, you can Blood Moon me now. I got the, he's got the Goyf. Okay. We're doing this. We're having a damage battle here.
2 cards is a lot of cards to discard.
Yep. Yeah, Jeremy's just gonna have to get there with this Goyf. So we toss, it looks like a Lazav, and
Lands, maybe?
maybe so. That looks an awful lot like another basic frame, doesn't it?
It does.
Maybe Jeremy did play, maybe there are 2 swamps.
Yeah, maybe there's one in the main and one on the side.
Which
So-
I guess would let you
Play-
unearth or escape a Kroxa
Yeah.
through a Blood Moon.
And we get the Surgical on Kroxa.
So it was a kind of a quick scan through, but it looks like there weren't any. I didn't see any Uros. It looked like Kroxa is the Titan of choice. So maybe we have to revise the deck name to Lazav Shadow Kroxa, which sounds
Yeah, I feel like Titan is
Terrible.
throwing it off a little bit.
all right. All right, we're gonna get there. We're just gonna keep
But-
editing this and making it sound worse, but be more descriptive. I think if we switch, maybe if we do KroxaShadow, that sounds slightly better. Yeah, we're at Lazav KroxaShadow. Shalakros may be going a little bit too far in the have no idea what it means, but I like that we're trying to make this extremely unwieldy name into something.
Zombie Wizard Shadow.
That's the other side of the board,
Oh.
Travis.
Okay, there's got to be wizards in Jeremy's deck, though.
Well, technically yes, because Lazav is a shapeshifter, so therefore is wizard. Oh, so I think we are 2 cards short of bringing Kroxa back, which would have been a big deal for Andrew here.
yeah, it's looking like you're in a tough spot here. This is a good top deck for Jeremy.
Yes. Okay.
That's not bad.
No. Yeah, we toss, it looks like another Kroxa in the yard. We're going to get 2 chump blockers here and grab another couple cards. Hopefully, I think we're looking for something like a Fatal Push here would be really, really helpful if we're on Andrew's side. And my guess is that's what we were hedging. Oh, never mind. I guess we had to leave that black up in any case, but. I mean, Jeremy is at 7 here, so if Jeremy serves with both creatures, it's a Skelemental on the backswing could just end the game.
Yeah, if I was Andrew and Jeremy serves with both creatures, I might just block with the Seasoned Pyromancer.
Huh.
Because that way, if you have a Skelemental, you can still kill through one removal spell. Maybe if it doesn't kill a Skelemental, if it's like
I think you got to figure that any removal spell that Jeremy...
Fatal Push.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
And I think I am still blocking with the Pyromancer here, just in case you have another land in hand. You'll be able to make some more chump blockers.
Right. Yeah, I think I'm with you. Kroxa also can get recast next turn.
Why are we blocking with both? What's the
I'm
thought on that?
very, very confused by this.
I don't like that.
Is there a bolt?
Maybe
It must be a bolt.
So
No.
4, 5, 6,
What?
7. So I guess if it gets
Teamer Battle
14
Rage?
for Battle Rage, you'll have 3 in front of it, but then you're still dead.
Huh. Yeah, that's a very confusing block to me. Okay, we are going to see Kroxa come back. I would love to see the Pyromancer left in the yard here.
Maybe we're thinking, maybe we've got an Unearth in hand. And
But-
we're going to try to unearth the Dreadhorde Arcanist and then
Unearthing Seasoned
bolt.
Pyromancer are so good, though.
Yeah. What?
I'm okay, I guess, with leaving the Skelemental just because of the threat of lethal. It does feel like Jeremy is going to need to hit a good top deck here to be able to pull this out. And I believe we don't even have access to all the colors on Jeremy's side. We're still missing blue.
It feels pretty close to me right now. But the attack or block decision, attack or hold back blockers is interesting.
It's awkward because I'm not sure how big the Goyf is, but my guess is it's a 5/6.
So we got creature, land, artifact, instance.
I prefer to go by feel with Tarmogoyfs.
Well, there's one of Jeremy's own.
Okay. That's problematic if you're on Andrew's side.
Yeah.
You are tapped out. So Jeremy's just confirming here if we swing with everything, is it lethal?
No.
And or is Andrew forced to block such that there's no board present? So obviously the Skelemental's coming in, and I think you can assume that Kroxa's probably blocking the Skelemental.
We're gonna leave the thinking up to the blocking team here.
Yeah, math for blockers. I think Kroxa definitely on the Skelemental. And then I think you have to put the... I mean, I guess you just put the Elemental on the Death Shadow. So I think it's Kroxa on the Skelemental, Elemental on the Death Shadow.
Depends how much you like your hand. Might be worth it to get this Tarmogoyf off the board.
Interesting. Yeah, your hand would have to be pretty awful. Maybe it is just... Oh, is it 2 lands?
No, it's a spell and a land.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you kind of open yourself up for a win with that line.
Yep. That'll do it. Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, so if we would have been Jeremy didn't have any cards in hand.
It looks like Jeremy is saying that he missed the bobble trigger, which is... This is the problem with bobble, right? Like, it feels like it's a free card until you miss one bobble trigger. And then you just feel like you've just been taken to the cleaners by Bobble's fake